All right. Good evening, everyone. Lucky I just made it in time. Just came back from Bennett. Traffic was bad. It took me 4 hours to get home. So I thought I had plenty of time to make it here, and I didn't. But I will try to tie a fly that someone showed me earlier while I was fishing with him. He was doing well. I was doing well. And I showed him my rig. I had that white thread jig, and then that was a size 16, and then a black zebra midge around 18, and they were kind of about a foot away from each other. He was using a triple rig, which I'm like, yeah, I'm not there yet. But the one fly that he said he had the best on was, let me change. Oop, go here. See if you could see this thing. This is called a Ray Charles. So I've never seen it, never tied it.
Yeah.
So I don't know, because even want to see, because there's the Mylar. I think even my Mylar is a little bit too big for what I got, because he's got that thin Mylar. But I will give it a try. But he's got no weight on it. And so while we were talking, and again, this is probably just more discussing ideas than anything. Go back to that, where I showed him that I was using a zebra midge, and he's like, that's good. He goes, but tie some of them without a bead head, because basically, if you guys could see my hand, if I have my first point fly here and then down, maybe 8 inches, either the bottom one's dragging and making it weird, and then the upper one is out of the zone. Again, you're trying to get within that 6 feet. So he said, have that the other two or whatever's trailing behind it not weighted. So you got the one that's dropping down, and then the other one's kind of fluttering down in that strike zone with it. So I thought that was a cool idea, and I'll give it a try. But that's kind of when I showed you again, this thing was unweighted. So he's got a little red hot spot. He said does it in several colors. That material is just basically the Mylar strip and ostrich hurl. And so luckily I do have some ostrich hurl in olive, so I'll give that a try soon. But I think I'm going to go to the email first. Okay, let me get back. Sorry again, wasn't prepared coming in late. So hopefully you got the email yesterday late. Things that are going on. A couple things coming on. So tonight I will try to do this thing for fishing news. I don't know if you guys saw on the email I sent out, there's actually a new movie coming out. And it's really, I can't see if they're saying anything with Project Healing Water, but it's exactly what we do. So it's basically a Marine was wounded in Afghanistan, sent to the VA facility in Montana, where he meets a Vietnam vet who teaches him how to fly fish as a way of dealing with his emotional and physical trauma. And so that's exactly what we do. So I kind of started looking up. It's called Mending the Line. Looks pretty good. I kind of looked at the reviews already, and I kind of try to compare it with what other movies are going on, and they've got that from 1 to 10 scale, and very rarely do movies get into the 9s at all. I've never seen one that ever got 10. I think the best was 9.3. And you look at some of the blockbusters that are coming out, and they're in the 7s. Some of them might get to 8.1. And this got a rating of 8.3. So I think it's going to be a really good movie. So I want to get a hold of Amy and see if it's okay, because every time I take the girls to the movie theater, they're like, hey, if you want to reserve one of these theaters, and I think it's like $300, 300 to 500, depending on what movie, then you could kind of fill the seats. You could have up to like 30 people. So if we could, if our group wants to go out there where it's just us, and since we don't have a ton of people, people could bring their, their plus one or something. So I'm going to see if Amy says, yeah, it's your money, go ahead and do with it. I want to get their blessing before I do it, but I think that'd be kind of fun as an outing where we'll just go to the movie theater and see this movie. I did put the trailer in the email as well. So if you wanted to see the trailer for the movie, it looks pretty good. So again, I didn't see any mention of Project Healing Water, but it is exactly what we do. So something neat coming up. Fly tying in person. Again, I need to talk to Jefferson Barracks again. I had a couple crazy 10 days, and right when that happened, pretty much the country said we're going back to normal, like as of pre-COVID. So I need to get back with them again and say, are a lot of the restrictions for COVID gone, or what's going on? And then we could kind of see if we could get back to JB. Sorry I missed you guys at Waltz. For those of you who were able to go, sounded like a good time. I guess even Jim Saraceno took the kayaks out. I was like, who's in the kayaks? I was like, all right, cool. So sounded like it was a good time. Sorry I missed it. I don't know if anyone got some casting in, because that's where we would do some casting lessons if needed. But it looked like a good time. I even heard from Denny Pierre that he had a blast, so that was pretty good. We'll have more fly casting lessons soon. I still have a lot of tying equipment and materials. If you guys need anything, let me know. I'm going to start putting in an order for those wading sticks. I talked to several people that kind of wish we have it. They're unsteady on their feet. So I'm going to, tomorrow, I will get online and order a bunch of wading sticks. I'm going to see how many I could get, maybe 30 of them. That way, we could, everyone could get them. I'll just say they're for use and just return them when they're there and don't expect them back. So, things that the calendar coming up. Okay, so this June 3rd, so it's Saturday at Merrimack, is Vets Fish Free. So it'll be a little bit different. We'll be working with Dominic Delia this time around, and they're the guys that had that big they were at the shelter and had the cooking and all that. I got a bunch of things donated to me that we would never use, like that dough bait and stuff like that. Someone gave it to me and they're like, oh, here's for the veterans. I'm like, all right, we won't use this. But if you haven't fished during Vets Fish Free at Merrimack, it's pretty cool. They tag fish. So if you're fishing out there and you come across one that looks like it's the tag you would see at Goodwill, it's a little plastic tag, go take it to Dominic and they'll have some prizes. So I'm going to donate some of that stuff for the prizes. And then it's a good time. They usually have a good barbecue going. So we'll work with those other veteran groups as well.
Are you going to be there?
Yes, I will be there.
Okay.
So I'll be there. I don't know what time they're starting, but I plan on getting there a little bit early, no later than 8 a.m. for me. So, but I plan to be out there. Hopefully it's, those days they usually stock a little bit more. And so Merrimack's always been a challenge, but the 1 year, I think maybe 2 years ago, or maybe last year, we were out there and we all did pretty well. So I'm hoping that it's this time again and we have a good time. June 9th is when that movie that I told you is coming out, Mend the Line. So I'll get info if that's okay, if we could use the money for that rent. I think that'd be a fun kind of movie to go see together. I'm starting to hear a little bit on that National Casting Competition at Bennett, and that's the 28th of August through 1 September. Let me see if I could find that email from Amy real quick. I actually did hear from her boyfriend Steve, Sled Dog. She's kind of bringing him back into the loop on this. He's going to do all the logistics. So I got an email from Steve looking for a bunch of stuff that I have in the storage that I'm like, yeah, we don't use it anymore. Because if you remember when Steve would be with us, he'd be cooking and doing this. And, you know, we don't have anyone that just wants to come out while we're fishing to cook. So we've never used any of that stuff. So Steve, you're welcome to have any of all that. So Steve, I'll have to get with him and get a bunch of supplies and everything. What did she ask for us? Okay. Mick, if you would like to coordinate for any fly shop promotional items from local vendors, that is great. So I guess that's the task I've gotten. The idea is that we can line the two fields with supporting banners they will provide. I don't know how much I could do on that end. I don't live in Lebanon. You know, I do have that little place, but I'm not down there to be hitting different places. But she's looking for swag bag items. Approximately, you know, she says 30 items, one, you know, per bag or something. So she'll have stickers and patches and all that. She said St. Louis local or any other areas may want to help on collection of items too. So I'll go to Hargroves. Someone went in there and they're like, hey, by the way, tell Mick I've got stuff for him. So I'll see what they have and I'll talk to them about this and see if they want to give anything up, and I'll go to Feathercraft as well. The only thing that she did said is we can promote to go check out local shops, but they don't want anything like being sold there. So I think that's about it. She's saying any support that you guys want to do, you guys are welcome to show up. She says you as a program leads can determine what is reimbursable or budgeted from your program budgets. So if you guys want to go out there for, you know, a couple days or something, that I don't mind, we could budget that. I know they'll get me on the one participant to volunteer. So someone's got to grab Scott and someone's got to grab Lee. And then, you know, if you guys take one of
I'll
those,
take Scott.
so
I'll push Scott in the wheelchair.
yep, push them around. And if you guys just want to go out there, even if it's for like the day, just to walk around. Walt, if you take Scott and you're like, hey, we're gonna go hit the lodge, save your receipts for those meals and all that, because I got more checks coming in for us, and I want to talk to Amy too, because I did a speech for the Kiwanis Club. One of my coworkers asked if I would give a speech, and that one didn't lead to much, but I had two guys coming up to us because I showed them a PowerPoint presentation, and then they offered, it was at Cyberg's on, what was it, 270 in Dorset, if you're familiar with that. They had a little room, so they offered to buy my dinner, and then they gave me a pen set for talking, which I just had fun talking to them. But two of the guys, because I talked to for about 15 minutes on the PowerPoint slides, tell them what we did. And then once the food arrived, I put, if you haven't seen it, good video, go on YouTube and put Freedom Ranch fly fishing. So you'll see what the Freedom Ranch looks like. And it's about a 40-minute video. And so
Is
while
Amy in it?
just go Freedom Ranch fly fishing.
Is that
Because there's a
what
lot of,
Amy is?
say again?
Is Amy in it?
No,
Oh,
no. So basically it's through the, they work with a group called Harbaugh Foundation that helps Fun Freedom Ranch. And so they do have some of our participants. I didn't see any leads or anything like that. They were just kind of focused on participants. And so while they were eating, they got to see it and they got the testimonials from a lot of these participants. And two guys came up to me, two different groups want to get in touch with me. We'll see if they not. And they're like, how much is, like to send one person out there? And I'm like, I would have to think of like airfare and stuff like that. It's going to be, and, cost of transportation, this and this. And, it depends on what you want to call. If it's just here, because someone else is doing food and all that, but someone's got to buy that and you got guides. I'm like, if you start counting all that, it's probably like $5 to $7 grand per person. And I had two
Is that in
people.
Montana?
Say again?
Is that in Montana?
Yes, off the Wise River. So
Okay,
yeah, so I kind of guess it could be anywhere between 5 and 7. And each of these guys who kind of work with a men's group were basically saying that they would like to sponsor each of them. So they're talking several thousand. So we'll see if I hear anything back from them. But I guess they liked the presentation I did. It was pretty good. So we shall see. But trying to think of what else is going on. So I think that's it for news. Again, I think that's it. So I will now try to tie. Again, sorry, wasn't prepared for this. This isn't even the fly this was the one that was given to me. He was saying the standard colors of white, gray, olive, all pretty work. And so I will try to give this. I've never attempted it. This is the first time. This is the one that he gave me. So I'm trying to follow suit with what he did. And I will go with the red because it looked like he wanted to have that hot spot. So anyone else get some fishing for this weekend? Anyone get out? I know Frank was with me, so I had Frank and I were fishing together. So I'm gonna guess I want to put the Mylar on next. Frank did good. We were fishing side by side in zone 1 together. Unfortunately, while he was fishing, he's like, I'm getting cold. And so he goes, I'm gonna go in, and that's later on I got a message from him saying that his waders were leaking. So I think he was going to Charlie's to get new waders the next day. Well, that tinsel for some reason is playing with my eyes. I'm sneaking there. All right. I've got some, I don't know if you can see it. I've got some ostrich herl. So this isn't peacock herl. This is ostrich. I think I'm going to try to take 2 plumes out of this and see if I could get it. So here's some of the plumes and see if 2 will make this good enough. But the gentleman who showed me this, he did very well with this. It was kind of fun to watch him. Usually I don't get competitive, but I was trying to keep up with them and I just couldn't. Oops. My vise is a little loose. I gotta see if I can tighten this up. Hang on. I don't have a. I think I'll make this work. Need to get a flathead screwdriver. Okay, so I'm gonna put the half hitch in there to hold it in. Now I'm gonna take this ostrich hurl. See if I can get this to look good. I think 2 is struggling with. Okay, that looks a little bit better. I'm going to try to go back a little bit and fill that in. Okay, that looks better. At first I was like, uh-oh, that's not looking good. That looks pretty good. Hey Lee, did you get your axle done?
Well, when I fell down the first time, I said, I'm gonna wait and see if I can get someone to come help me. So kind of fell down, hit my head a little bit.
Yeah, all right then.
No, I'll figure it out. I don't want to bother anybody.
Oh no, we'll have to figure it out.
I either gonna buy or try to find a ball bearing press because the bolts on the shackle are knurled and pressed in, and I need to press it out so I can press it back in later.
That's different.
And I don't want to mess up the knurl because that's part of how they make it stay in there. Is that a reverse mohawk?
Yeah, because I noticed, I'm going by what this guy did, and he cut the top off. And then I will try to put, this bigger size Mylar is going to probably look better than what he had. Ooh, damn, that looks pretty cool.
I'll get one of those little mustache trimmers and
Yeah.
I might put one in my kit.
Okay, I'm kind of happy with this. I don't want to lose this, so a little bit of cement. This is the first time I've ever tried this, and I'm pleasantly surprised that this turned out so well. As he did say, when you're fishing it, it will look like a wet dog or a wet cat. It will kind of get scrunched down, but then while you're done, that doesn't look bad, does it?
Nice.
That was the first time I did one. I'm just going to try to put a little bit of a Sally Hansen's along that back and hopefully not screw it up. Actually, I'll do it with a bodkin.
I think my next best thing to foam is Sally Hansen.
Yeah. And I'm actually just using 2 fingers. Just trying to.
You ready? You ready? Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys go. We're gonna have our dinner, so,
All right, you have your dinner. Good seeing you, Walt.
okay. Lee, give me a call sometime.
Will do.
Who, me?
Is there any other Lees in the book?
Oh. Okay, I got your number. I'll give you a holler.
All right, bye.
Bye.
It's like, well, so there you go. So that kind of worked. Looks like I got a little bit too much sticking near the eye, so I'll do the old. So oops, singed it a little bit too much, but there you go. I think that would work. So it's supposed to be kind of like a sow bug. Sorry, I didn't have anything else planned. This was kind of a rush to get here. Man, we're only halfway in. Any questions? Well,
Nick, now the one you showed that he gave you, it seemed like it was flat on the bottom too, almost like he trimmed top and bottom.
yeah, it kind of. Let me see if I could get. Show you the bottom.
Or has it just been pressed down?
Yeah, I think it might be just pressed.
Yeah,
But yeah, he said he puts that as a trailer. So if you're using those white thread jigs, and I've got stuff so thrown around, I do have one of those thread jigs that I've been doing. I think I kind of had demoed that yesterday. The way I do it now is putting that tippet ring in. I can kind of show that off to the side. But I actually put that tippet ring there. And so that's what I would tie something like this behind it. And that seemed to be working. Bennett was tough this week. I saw a lot of people complaining, saying the fishing's bad, you know, it's because of the construction, but construction hasn't started yet. So it's don't know what to tell them, but it was tough fishing, but you know, if you worked at it, you had still had a good day. There were several lunkers caught too, so I don't think the fishing was that bad. I think you had to just get out there early. Trying to think, anything else you guys want to discuss? Sorry, I wasn't prepped for this. I thought I'd have an hour before coming in.
Oh, don't apologize. You're doing great.
Yeah, it's like, oh man. But no,
Do you have any more knots?
I could do knots if you want. Well, you know what? Cool. I did order, so I got the knot tool. So let me that nail knot. I'm glad he's brought that up because no, I'm gonna keep it this, but I'm gonna zoom this out. All right. I'm gonna get rid of the vise. So maybe I'll do this a little bit more wide out. This tool actually came on a zinger as well. I think I got 2 of them for under $10. And so it has nice little nippers. The nail knot tool, which I'll demonstrate. You could clear up an eyelet, and it also had a place to sharpen your hook. So I will show you now, thanks Lee, on how to use a nail knot. Hopefully you guys could see that.
Do you have a link?
What's that?
Do you have a link to Amazon where you?
Yes, I could do that. I could send that to you.
In the text chat, yeah.
Yeah, I could. I'll do it in the, or I could actually just text you. So hopefully you could see that. Kind of hard to see because the black doesn't want to show, but let me get to, I got some amnesia line here. I just got to pull this off again. Scissors. So this knot is what I use for backing to the fly line and then the fly line to my leader. So I will show you how I do that. Since I've got some green line here. My fingers will work. You can see this green line. We'll call this my fly line. And this will be my leader material. So I will start with the leader material. This will work. So the how I want to do this. So this would be the tag end of my leader, and then this would be the running that I would have. So the way you would start this, so you got that groove. I've got an extra tab. Let me see if I could make this a little bit wider. And the biggest thing is having this lock in there. And that's why our needle knot, or the knot needle, wasn't working as well. And it's got this groove as well. So I will put that in there. And now I'm just wrapping around that loop. Hopefully you could see that. You could get around 4 times. I'm running out of line here, so I'm going to shoot that through. I didn't take enough. Actually, I'm going to start over and give myself some more line. But again, I'm just kind of wrapping together. I'll get 4 there. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to watch this. And then I'll feed it through. So now it's coming out the front there. So it's just get that. You can see the wraps. I want to pull too tight. There you go. If you can kind of see that. So I have it wrapped going from front to back and then through. We'll try to keep it in this view so you can see it without losing it. Now you would put your fly line through that forward groove. So you can kind of see it. And then what you want to do is holding his tag in, you can slide it up. Ooh, losing it. There we go. I will try to not pull out. Just trying to cinch that in. Oh, I didn't have it cinched enough. Let me try that again. Would it be better with this camera, or do you think the integrated one? Or is this okay?
I was seeing it fine on there for me.
You can see it? Okay. Let's try this again. I don't know. Trying to watch it, what I'm doing. So again. Yeah, that's where I'm at there. Now I'll put that got frayed.
Does that green one have to have a knot in it too at the end?
Nope, nope, not at all.
I didn't think that red one was cinched around that line tight enough.
Yeah, and I'm trying to spread this, but then make sure you guys can see it on the camera. There we go. This is where you just got to work it a little bit. On it. So it's
And I have a similar tool in doing that. And
This is
just
not-
like a clinch knot or anything else, and depending upon the type of lines you're trying to tie together there, you may need to have a couple more wraps to get enough
yeah,
grip on it. You know, Mick's just done 4, but he's talking 2 kind of braided lines there.
yeah,
It would be kind of slick if you had a couple more wraps of the red. It'd be kind of, like a Chinese finger thing. The more you get
Yeah.
there, the more it
Oh,
will
that's what does it. Okay.
yeah,
squeeze down on it. If you're talking about the vinyl wrap floating fly line,
Yeah.
your leader material bites into it real quick and easy and
Yeah.
grabs to where you probably get by with just 4 wraps.
Now all you do is kind of cut off your tag ends.
It's kind of amazing how it holds on to that line.
Yeah.
It's just
good scissors went to.
When you said the
just
Chinese,
all those wraps. It's like a hangman's noose or whatever. When you pull it tight, all those wraps tighten around the real chokehold on the other line.
Yep.
Uh,
And trying to get that.
But when you're doing it and using that tool on that leader line, that red, just like Mick realized there, you need quite a bit of material to actually make 4 to 6 wraps on that tool. You wouldn't think it would take as much as it does, but to make it around and still have enough that you can bend that line back around and tuck it through underneath of your wraps. It's
And I'm trying to get this out too. So the advantage of this is, as you can see, it's just this knot. Let's keep on going out of focus. But let's see if I can get it. Let's try. But that is, we'll go through your guides a lot. If you do that loop to loop, as you can kind of see, that's going to get hung up in your eyelets. You might have seen that before as well. So if you have a loop to loop, don't know if I have another leader laying around. Yes, I do.
Of course, if you're using Tenkara, you don't have to worry about
Exactly.
that.
So let me do this loop to loop. And at Tenkara, we'll still kind of talk about that. Mine's still in the truck because I was just trying to get here on time. But here's why you do the 2. So hopefully you could see that. You know, that nail knot goes through your guides a whole lot easier than
I see.
the loop. So as much as when I first started, I'm like, oh, the loop to loops are the best thing. Once I got to learn the nail knot, and I've kind of gone to that. It just goes through the guides a whole lot easier. But that's why you use a nail knot.
It's hard to do it without the tool, huh?
Yes. And again, these tools, and I've got one on my vest that's even a little bit better than this. I would say I wish this one, oh, I guess I could, okay. It did go out a little bit further. I was going to say, if you could make this out, you know, I was trying to do it with off to the side like this, which made it kind of hard, but there, that would make it a whole lot easier. And I will try to do like what Roger said. Let's see if I can put more loops on it and see what will happen. But yeah, this is full knot. It's, let's see if I get more of that amnesia. This is the 20-pound amnesia that I really don't use except for.
But you're saying that real leader line would bite better?
What's
Well,
that?
if you're wrapping it around your fly line, it's big and it's kind of like a vinyl coating on it. So that allows the leader to bite into the fly line more.
Oh, you put the knot on the leader, not the fly line. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, so
But-
now I'm gonna see how many I could do.
And Lee, you really don't need the tool. The way we did them in the old days
Was a
is
nail.
we actually used a nail
Yeah,
and the nail on the line, and then just wrapped around the nail, and then put the leader back down through the hole between the nail and the line and the fly line.
Oh, okay.
This tool is nothing more than a fancy nail, but it sure does make it a lot easier.
yeah, it does.
You don't have to have your rod with you too.
Yeah. It just a
Yeah,
little-
you know, I enjoyed the tying the nail knots, except carrying that damn hammer along all the time was a pain.
Oh,
Huh?
up,
Sorry,
Mick,
Terry.
up a little bit.
That's my pennies.
Sorry.
There you go.
Oh, I pulled it out. Yeah, it's usually I don't use 20-pound leader, so
Okay.
it makes it a little bit harder, but
in the same way, Mick, usually on the fly line end of it, if you just stick quite a bit more, and when you first kind of snug it down, don't go too tight. And then if you want to, usually you can slide your fly line back out where you're not having to trim off so much.
yeah,
Keeps you from losing the wraps you made off the end of the fly line.
my tool that I have and I've got this one. The one that I have on my vest actually has this little slide that helps push it on, where I guess I could do it with my finger, but it makes it a little bit easier to tighten a knot while you're there. That one was a little bit more expensive, but I thought it would work out better. I'll try to practice that again, and once I try this new one, we'll see.
And what's the tool called again? Nail knot?
Yeah, they call it a nail knot tool, but this is a good tool that you probably could use on your vest. So it's going to have your nippers, so you don't have to use your teeth on cutting line. And
Yeah, I've lost my nippers, so yeah.
okay, then I'm going to give you one of these. So you'll be the proud owner of this. So here is, trying to use that on your teeth. You just kind of go by the eye, and they're gone. So the nippers do good. It has this little diamond coating, or if you wanted to kind of just sharpen your hook, you can. I've never used it, but it's there.
Okay.
You've got the nail knot tool, and then you also have this little, if you get paint or something in your hook, you could kind of then, use that to free up your eyelet there. I don't know if you could kind of see right there. So it kind of, you got paint or anything there, could kind of clear up your eyelet. So these are really good, and then I just keep it like on a zinger, and whenever I need it, I just extend it and you let it go and it comes back. So hopefully you won't lose it. But I got two, so I bought two for that because I didn't have an extra one, so I'll give you one of mine. So let me get off this view so you guys could see me. But again, everything's going well. It was nice to get out fishing. Sorry you guys didn't get to get out there. It was packed. I would say that was a typical, what I remember why I never really liked going on Memorial Day or Labor Day to Bennett, because luckily I got my Zen in, because if I was going to let things bother me, it would go there. The one guy that I was fishing next to, he was doing pretty good, and I could say now I was happy that I did better than him with a fly rod, because he was in zone 1, and he's like, asked me what color dough bait I was using. I'm like, I don't know. Dough bait. I'm like, are you using dough bait right now? He's like, oh yeah, this orange stuff is the bomb. I'm like, absolutely illegal here. And then after that, he kind of stepped away from me, thought I was like a snitch or something. But he kept on fishing there. So I was like, you know what? I'm not the police. I just let him know if he gets in trouble, that's on him, but It was a busy weekend for sure. I think they put 2,200 fish in Sunday night for today. So there was a ton of fish. It was just, I think there was maybe too many people and they started getting spooked. So it was kind of tough, but still had fun. You know, it was, got to talk Ben Haven. Margie and I were just fishing by ourselves. The horn goes off at 8:15 at night. And so it went off, and Margie and I just trucked back to our truck. And those of you who know where I like to fish at Zone 1, there's that bench that I like to sit at where I put on, and the Haven family were just sitting there waiting on us. So we got to talk to them for a while. So kind of found out a little bit more that I think it's starting in October. So October 1st is when they're actually starting that construction. And so not sure how it's going to go, but that whole inlet where I like to fish, I think they're going to rope pretty much that whole area that I really like off. Because there's going to be a lot of construction there. That whole inlet is being destroyed.
Where do you like to fish, Mick? Relative to the spillway?
Right above the spillway. So
okay,
that is the end of Zone 1, and there's a parking lot right there, and I just wait on out, and you could kind of try to walk to the spillway, but it's going to get really deep, way deeper than anyone could go, because I think it goes almost like 16 feet before it actually hits the spillway. But right near the inlet for the runs is where I like to fish. And there's just a nice little run, and that's where I was using the 10 car in the video. And if you're watching the video, you can see Frank right next to me. We're just kind of casting in there and just run with the drift, and you know, it's just a good area. It's, you know, one
is that where we were fishing that one time?
Probably. I'm trying to think which.
Above the dam.
Yes, above the dam. Yes.
Okay.
In there with you. Just where I got baptized.
Yep, that's where Lee got baptized. So, but there's that one area that I tried to take you as well as Terry, that Zone 2 that we kind of just wasn't working well. So I'll have to try to give that place again. But when we went there, the water was high. You could get there when the water's down and crystal clear. That run is a lot slower. But yeah, fishing went pretty well.
So what kind of construction are they doing there?
Basically, it's going to take 2 years, and they're going to make the inlet a lot safer for us as fishermen. I think the biggest thing you'll notice is, I should have taken pictures of it, but I'll be up there hopefully soon. I want to get pictures of the inlet before they knock it down, because there's even someone kind of stamped it with a date that said 1926. So that's when they built the last inlet. So it almost made 100 years. But the inlet there, it wasn't automated. So if, you know, they would get those floods that were coming in, they had to run out there, which was really dangerous, and try to get the big floodgates down to prevent the hatcheries from being overrun with the water. So they kind of slowed down. That was all manual. So you could picture, you got all this flood water coming in, and man, one slip, and if they go in, as you could see, it has to go underneath the bridge, kind of like in a tube to get to hatchery. They could get washed under and get, you know, hung up in that tube and drown. So there's a lot of safety issues with why they're doing this. So it will be automated, where they just got to hit a button and it'll start closing those. No one has to go out there. It's built in a way that it can't get, you know, clogged with debris. Which,
right.
Right.
Yeah. And that all works great until it doesn't.
What was that?
That all works great until it doesn't.
Yeah, they have this same one now at Roaring River. And if you haven't fished Roaring River, they could try to say that's a sister park to Bennett. If you walk into either of their park stores, they look identical. But the streams are different. And they just got done with their 2-year renovation, and they had some floods last year with the new system and had no issues where they had issues before.
That's
So
good.
Yeah,
that's
Mick, and that new spillway and everything, or the area there, it's gonna, I think, give a larger handicap paved
yes,
access along that side of the stream.
yeah. So if you could picture that whole area is going to be from the inlet where by kind of Ben's office, kind of, where's that apron area and all that's going to change. And then the hatchery runs will be a little bit different, but not a whole lot. But it's more for better management of the fish. So it's going to make Ben's job a lot easier to produce more fish for us. So, and safer for them. So it should be good for them. So other than that, I think that's about it. If there's anything you guys
How are you and Marjorie's recovery going?
doing good. For me, it's just trying to get back to a norm. It was just a crazy 10 days.
Was your norm the problem?
What's that?
Wasn't your norm the problem?
No, this was beyond the norm. This was, Margie had her surgery scheduled for a Tuesday. And then, the Thursday prior, my dad was starting to go downhill.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's
And
right.
then he passed away the next day. And so I'm trying to help mom and get everything with the funeral, but then also talking to Margie to make sure she was going for her operation. So the funeral and the operation were the same day. So I'm trying to do double duty. I got back home Wednesday night. Then the oldest daughter needed brakes changed. So I did all that in the heat because we had no other place to do it. And I spent over 3 hours in the heat, just nonstop getting the brakes, and got heat exhaustion. But the following day I felt a little bit better, but I still had to take Margie, and it just kind of set it off again. And then I ended up in the hospital. So now I'm hoping that, okay, that's all behind us. Margie's feeling better. I'm feeling better. Everything's kind of going back to a normal. So, we have next Saturday. So now I could go back to making sure you guys are good. So I don't know if I put out an invitation on that. I'll have to double check to see if I did. Hopefully you guys know it's going to be there, but I will put an invite out. I'll probably do that if I can get my other monitor working. I'm going to make sure that's out there right now.
Your new property, you have enough room for Roger and I to bring our RVs?
It's in a mobile home park, so it's kind of nicer where I don't have to tow. It's just an outdated mobile home that I'm trying to work. So it got let me see, this weekend I had to build the TV entertainment system. So that was kind of like one of those IKEA stuff. It had all those cams and everything in there. So that took a little bit, but then we got the TV working. The toilet that was there, I think it was maybe the sitting height had to be no more than 12 inches. It was so hard for me to try to find that thing. I'm like, told Margie, I'm going to Lowe's to go get a new toilet seat. And the guy who did it before, if you ever done a toilet seat, they got those J bolts where you line up where they just should slide in and out. He slid them in and then used a number 1 Phillips driver screw to lock those in. And I didn't have a lot of tools. So and I didn't have a number 1 Phillips, but I had a number 2. So I had Margie, I put the number 2 in the 1. She stepped on the screwdriver, and then I used a ratchet to kind of turn it because I needed a lot of pressure, and I actually got it off. So I'm like, that wasn't supposed to be that hard. So, but we're slowly getting there. So, we're using it as much as we can, but next weekend we'll be at Merrimack. So I'll be fishing there with you guys. And then the following weekend I'll be out of town, but in Chicago. So again, once I get the bedrooms fixed, if you guys wanna, if I'm out fishing and you guys need a place to stay, that's fine. It's just, the 2 bedrooms haven't been touched since the mobile home was put together 30 years ago, so the carpet was well overdue for a change. So I'm getting rid of the carpet and I'm putting, it's actually kind of neat. It's instead of linoleum, it's vinyl now flooring, and it's a big, strip. And when I showed Tom and Kathy, you know them.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, you put the vinyl planks down." I'm like, "Those aren't vinyl planks." She kept on looking and looking because they got a grain and everything. She's like, "Those are vinyl planks." I'm like, "No, that's one solid piece of vinyl." And she's like, "No way." And I had to show her. And so they've come a long way with that stuff. So
Look pretty good, yeah.
So it's kind of nice. So
Tell Marge I said hi.
will do. I'll tell her that you all said hello. Hopefully, since we had a small crowd today, everyone's out fishing and we'll have more stories coming next week. But that will be, I know we'll have stories from hopefully those who weren't here today to tell us what they did over Memorial Day. And then we'll talk about some of the fun stuff we did on June 3rd at Vets Fish Free at Merrimack. So again, on that stuff, since you're vets, you guys should, you won't have to pay any of the fees getting in or anything, but so that should make it pretty easy for you guys.
I just have one last question.
Sure.
Hey, Roger, did you ever finish your trailer?
No, they still got it.
Oh,
The trailer's bad or the truck?
The dealership is bad.
Oh, because I love your truck. Your truck is awesome. It's just, I know.
They're taking over a month trying to get, those real hard to find parts like a toilet,
Yeah.
It's just like, you got to be kidding me. A few things that you need and you can't get them inside of a month. And it's just like bad service department, parts department, the dealership.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to find a local provider different than them. It's like, not going to go through this again. I'm kind of stuck, just biting my tongue to it's like, when you get it done, it's going to be the last time you see me.
Yeah, that's a shame because if they know the toilets for some reason they're having a hard time getting them, it's a long lead item. Order a couple.
I can go into Amazon and get it in 2-3 days. It's
Sure.
like, okay, you don't get it at a wholesale price, but damn it, you're still getting your $160 an hour installation fee.
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
no kidding.
take a little, customer service, get it done, get me my camper.
Yeah, because I mean, we're past Memorial Day now, so this is that whole summertime where people are busy camping. But this is good where it gets hot, where I like to go fishing in the morning and then the evening, and then try to find a place to hide during the heat of the day.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
thanks, Roger.
Yep. All right. Any other questions? I will double check to see if I put an invite out, but again, June 3rd, this Saturday, I plan on being there by 8. We'll be at the pavilion, so I look for the sign, but if you've never met Dominic, nice guy, he's worked with us before and he's trying to make it. It doesn't matter if you're, Reels for Heroes or, Project Healing Water. We're all veterans trying to do the same thing. So I've got some extra stuff I'll go down. And Terry, I'm still working on these. So are you going to be there Saturday?
I'm planning on it, yes.
Okay, because then I'll have more of those flies tied for you.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Yeah. If you guys don't know, Terry's fun to hang out with at the kids fishing in Illinois, where we just get inundated. We have too many of the kids, so I'm trying to pre-tie these up so Terry could just hand them out, because I think we were doing over 300 flies, and that was Terry, Margie, and I just cooking these things out for the kids, and it's a good time. So I'm going to try to get this done earlier for Terry. That way he could enjoy his time more instead of just trying to play catch up tying 300 flies. So, but if you want to go out, that's Pierre Marquette State Park, and it's what, June 10th. And
Yeah.
June 10th, and I'll be in Chicago. And if you've never been to Pierre Marquette State Park, great place. Margie and I usually hit that place at least twice a year. The lodge has that family style chicken dinner. I don't know if you guys ever seen any like that, where if you get it, each person's guaranteed 4 pieces of fried chicken, but the coleslaw, mashed potatoes, and the veggies all come in bowls, like if you're having a family dinner. And you get the free refills on those. So if you want more corn, mashed potatoes, bread, that's unlimited. It's a chicken, but man, they still give you 4 big pieces of chicken. You are not going to walk out of there hungry. So it's a good place to go. So, all right, I think that's all I got for the main part. As I said, that national competition is coming up. We still have a lot of money if you guys want to go, and Amy said in that note, that's up to the program leads on how they want to fund it. So I will fund it because I know I just dropped another $1,500 check. So if you guys want to go out there, just save your receipts and we'll get those reimbursed. It's I've been sending them all to Lee. Have you got anything back?
I didn't give you.
Oh, you didn't give me anything.
Yeah,
Scott,
I have not yet.
you haven't either? Okay, I'm going to check on Roger. Scott, you gave me yours.
Yeah, I gave you some. I still haven't got anything.
Okay, so for Scott and Roger, I will double check to see where that at. Lee, if you have any receipts from that weekend, let me
I
know.
was so frustrated I didn't keep it.
Okay, so maybe this weekend or coming up, especially that national casting competition, if you want to just show up, we've got some funds, and Amy already said, it's up to the program leads. It's like, all right, because that's September. That goes from August to September, and by October, that's the fiscal year. So they start pulling some of that money. So that's why I want to get some of those walking sticks. I'll be buying more waders and boots, and
I still need to get me a waiter.
yeah, so that way, if there's anything you see we're needing, more vices, anything like that, I'm gonna just start ordering it. That way we have I'll buy more rod kits, so that way I don't have to worry, that everything's paid for once this fiscal year ends, and then I don't have to worry about, if Kenny's good, and I'm starting to get into it now where I'm getting checks thrown my way, and Scott's helped us out too. So we're doing good. So, but I want to make sure we are given those funds. So I want to make sure we're getting everything we need. So, all right, that's all I got. So, like I said, I pulled in, all my gear is still in my truck, so I'm going to go unload. So again, if you guys need anything, and Scott and Roger, I will get with Mike and find out where those checks are for you guys. So
Hey,
Right
see you Saturday.
we'll see you guys Saturday. If you need anything, reach out.
Thanks, Mick.
All right, you guys take care.
Tight lines, Al.